What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to AIDS Music. Today we're gonna be talking about Fleetwood Mac and why they're awesome. So, probably the first thing that comes to mind when you guys think of Fleetwood Mac is the Rumors lineup with Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham. But there's actually four notable lineups of Fleetwood Mac. So there's the original four members of Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Peter Green, and Jeremy Spencer. And then there's the next lineup of Peter Green, Danny Kerwin, Jeremy Spencer, Mick Fleetwood, and John McVie. And then the next one would be from like 1972 when Bob Welch joined Fleetwood Mac after Peter Green left. So that would be Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Christine McVie, Bob Welch, and Bob Weston. And then, of course, the last notable lineup is the Rumors era of Fleetwood Mac with Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks, and Lindsey Buckingham. So I just wanted to, talk about Fleetwood Mac and why their music's awesome and why they're awesome. So their first studio album was just called Fleetwood Mac. And most of them had just left John Mayall's Blues Breakers. So like Peter Green was in that band and he replaced Eric Clapton. And John McVie was already the bass player for that band. Mick Fleetwood joined the Blues Breakers to replace their drummer because Peter Green wanted him in it. So then the three of them left the Blues Breakers at different times, but they all left. And then Jeremy Spencer joined them and they got to work on their first album. So the name Fleetwood Mac comes from Mick Fleetwood and John McVie, so their names were just put together. But their first album's like actually really good. Peter Green sings on it. Jeremy Spencer sings on it. I'm gonna play a few licks. There's one song that's called like "I Loved Another Woman" that's got a really cool like intro. Like it's like a like that. That's the intro riff. Then Jeremy Spencer, one of his tracks on it, they play a "Shake Your Money Maker." He does that differently, so it's like a like that. It's pretty good. Their next album, I'm pretty sure it was their next album, it's Mr. Wonderful. That was a pretty good album. It's still the original four people in Fleetwood Mac. That's got a couple good tracks on it. It's got a Love That Burns on it. That's one of my favorite Fleetwood Mac tracks. So it goes like a so that's a good riff to learn. Next album, The Pious Bird of Good Omen. As some of you may or may not know, Peter Green wrote the song Black Magic Woman, and then Santana covered it, and that obviously became the more famous version. But the original Black Magic Woman's really good, so it's like a I got a black magic woman, got a black magic woman, The solo in that's pretty good. It's like a That's a pretty good solo. Their next notable album is when Danny Kerwin joined the group, and so they wrote the Then Play On album. That's a really good album. Lot of notable tracks on that. Probably their most famous from that is the Oh Well song. So it's like a something like that. Yeah, that one's a really good one. Just a lot of notable tracks. The Rattlesnake Shake is on there. That's a good song. The Green Man Alishi obviously is on that record. That one became very popular after Judas Priest covered that. So yeah, a lot of notable tracks off that record. Yeah, and of course Peter Green left because he was not of a sound mind at that time. So Peter Green left, and then they all moved into a house together, and it's called, I forget what it's called, but it was one of their albums. I think you pronounce it Kiln House. So that was like their next album after them Play On, and they moved into a house called that. And Christine McVie actually provided the artwork for that album cover, but they all moved into that house together. Jeremy Spencer left. He was like, all right, I'm gonna get groceries, and he literally like left and never came back. They found him in like a cult or something. So then they got Bob Welch in the group while Danny Kerwin was still there. So they played a few gigs, and Christine McVie was already in the group at this time, but they were playing gigs, and Danny Kerwin decided one night that he just wasn't going to go on stage with them. And then when after their whole gig was done, he was like, all right, guys, it was a really cool gig. And Mick Fleetwood didn't like that because he was like, all right, I don't know why, but he just didn't like it and just fired him right on sight. So Danny Kerwin was not in the band anymore. So that's when they got Bob Weston. And the one notable album, I think, from this Bob Welch lineup is a Mystery to Me. It's like one good track on that record. It's called Miles Away. It's got like a really cool like chords in the beginning, so it's like. So those are like the chords in the song. It's a really good song. But that lineup went through, and Bob Welch was just like, all right, I'm done. I don't like this anymore. And so yeah, Mick Fleetwood, they went to L.A. Mick Fleetwood and I think John McVie, or either the whole group went there, but they're in L.A. And this is the time Lindsey Buckingham and Stevie Nicks were cutting their first record, Buckingham Nicks. So Lindsey Buckingham is cutting that record, and Mick Fleetwood hears this record, and he's like, oh, okay, what's this guitar player's name? He's really good. So he gets in touch with Lindsey Buckingham. He's like, okay, I want you in Fleetwood Mac. And he was like, oh, cool. But I'm going, and she's going, referring to Stevie Nicks. So they really wanted Lindsey Buckingham, but they were like, okay, I guess we have to take her with us. But Stevie Nicks is a very talented vocalist. So then they cut the second album entitled Fleetwood Mac. So their first record was called Fleetwood Mac, and now this other record is named Fleetwood Mac. So their first LP has been renamed to Peter Green's Fleetwood Mac, just so you can tell the difference between them. But that was a good record. Rhiannon and Landslide were on that. Rhiannon's a really cool, like, finger-picking song. It's like So that's a really good one. They went on tour. Lindsey Buckingham would do a lot of Peter Green, Fleetwood Mac stuff, because they didn't have a lot of new material, so they would have to do, like, Oh Well. They'd have to do the Green Man Alishi. He just, like, became a perfect fit for them. He was great. He was a very talented vocalist and a very talented guitar player. Not to mention Stevie Nicks' vocals. It became great. And then they got to work on their next album, which was Rumors, obviously. And that's when stuff went downhill. Everybody who in the band who was with somebody broke up. So like Stevie Nicks and Lindsey Buckingham broke up. John McVie and Christine McVie got a divorce. Even Mick Fleetwood and his wife got a divorce. So, stuff went downhill, but the record is fantastic. So, yeah, obviously notable tracks from that being Never Going Back Again, Secondhand News, Go Your Own Way, You Make Love and Fun. Some really good tracks from that record. They went on tour for that, obviously, and then that's when they just stopped. After that, Fleetwood Mac stopped. They came back together though in the 80s to write that Mirage record. I think that's what it was called. That had Gypsy on it. That's a really good song. Then when they went on tour for that, Lindsey Buckingham left. He was done. It took like 2 people to replace him during that tour. And then they came back, did the Tango in the Night, Dance. And then in 2018, 2019, one of them years, Lindsey Buckingham was fired from Fleetwood Mac, which is sad because I really liked Lindsey Buckingham, but he was fired. So now Fleetwood Mac's lineup consists of Mick Fleetwood, John McVie, Christine McVie, Stevie Nicks, Neil Finn from that one band. What's it? I think it's called like Battered House or something. Shattered House, something like that. It's like that. And then Mike Campbell from Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers. So that's Fleetwood Mac's lineup right now. Peter Green died not too long ago. He died like last week, which is pretty sad. He was one of my guitar heroes. He died, but on February he died on July 25th, 2020, and then on February 25th, 2020, Mick Fleetwood hosted a Peter Green tribute concert, which was awesome. And it's weird that he died like exactly 5 months after that. But the tribute concert was cool. It had a whole bunch of notable people there. It had Mick Fleetwood, obviously. It had John McVie, which was cool. Christine McVie was there. Jeremy Spencer came back, did some stuff with them. David Gilmour from Pink Floyd was there. Pete Townsend from The Who. Kirk Hammett from Metallica came only because he has Peter Green's Les Paul. Peter Green gave it to Gary Moore, and then when Gary Moore died, Kirk Hammett got it. So that's the only reason why he was invited. I can't stand Metallica, but yeah, it was a really good concert. And I think that's all I have to say about Fleetwood Mac. Really, they're awesome. They covered a lot of genres. Yeah, it's really cool. If you can, I'd try to listen to tracks from all their albums, because seriously, it's good stuff. If you're a guitar player, you definitely want to listen to it. You can pick up some cool licks from Peter Green. You can learn good finger picking stuff from Lindsey Buckingham, like Rhiannon. That's, like I said already, that's a really cool, some thumb in the bass stuff. It's awesome. So definitely check out Fleetwood Mac if you haven't already after this video. So yeah, I think that's all I have to say. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is AIDS Music. See ya.